Wait a second, what if the chaos you're facing right now isn't a setback, but a setup? I know, it sounds counterintuitive. Most people assume if life gets harder, they must have messed up. But what if I told you this struggle could be your biggest confirmation, yet that God is preparing you, not punishing you, preparing you. And it rarely looks spiritual at first. If you've been feeling unsettled lately, like something huge is about to break through but your world looks like it's falling apart, trust me, you're not broken. You're being built. And today, I'm walking you through 7 undeniable spiritual growth signs that God is moving behind the scenes. These aren't just feel-good ideas. This is divine timing explained raw, real, and relevant to your life right now. By the time we're done, you'll understand why doors had to close, why the delays were divine, why what felt like a detour was actually God clearing your path. And if you've been doubting what you're walking through, you won't anymore. So settle in, lean in, and let's decode what your season is really saying. Chapter 1: Trials that Build Character. It often starts when everything seems to fall apart. Plans that once looked promising suddenly collapse. People you counted on disappear, and life becomes painfully uncertain. But what if, just what if, those very trials weren't punishments, but a strategy from heaven? You see, God is preparing you, and He doesn't build great lives on shallow foundations. That discomfort, it's not chaos. It's construction. Like gold in the fire, your character is being refined. When life feels heavy, most people retreat. But those who lean into the pressure with faith begin to see through the fog. That's where the spiritual growth signs show up, hidden in pain, tucked inside uncertainty. Take losing a job, for example. It may hurt, but it might also be the only thing that could force you to launch that dream business. Every crisis contains the seed of clarity, if you know how to look. Napoleon Hill reminded us that every adversity carries with it an equal or greater benefit. That's not just poetic, it's personal. These tests, they're divine resistance training. They expand your patience, refine your thinking, and shape your trust. This is what Christian faith preparation looks like. Not waiting for the storm to end, but learning how to dance in the rain. And just when you think you can't handle another trial. Chapter 2: Divine Pruning. Sometimes God doesn't just shift things, He trims them. And pruning doesn't feel like strategy. It feels like loss. Relationships end. Habits no longer fit. Spaces you loved start to feel suffocating. But here's the secret. God is preparing you by removing what no longer serves your assignment. You don't grow by adding more. You grow by letting go. Think of a fruit tree. Before it produces in full, it's pruned. Same with your life. Maybe a friendship that used to energize you now feels draining. Maybe a job that once thrilled you now feels like a cage. That's not a failure, it's transition. These are the spiritual growth signs that your roots are going deeper and your season is shifting. And while it's tempting to hold on out of habit, clinging delays the harvest. Letting go is spiritual obedience. That's what Christian faith preparation teaches us. That faith isn't just believing, it's releasing. That old opportunity? Maybe it wasn't big enough for your calling. That expired version of you? It's making room for the one aligned with purpose. And as you begin to surrender what you thought you needed. Chapter 3: The Quiet Inner Call. It doesn't always roar, it often whispers. That stirring inside, the nudge that keeps waking you at 3 a.m., the idea you can't shake. It's not random. It's a sign. When God is preparing you, He starts speaking to your heart before anything is around you. And those whispers? They're divine downloads custom made for your next level. You may feel it as restlessness in places that once felt safe, or a sudden disinterest in conversations that used to excite you. These moments are spiritual growth signs, and if you're paying attention, you'll realize they're clues that your spirit is evolving ahead of your environment. That's the tension of transformation. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose. It's the soul's way of reminding you you're built for more. Start writing it down, those repeating thoughts, those reoccurring themes. Patterns reveal purpose. What you can't stop thinking about may be what you were born to create. And that is divine timing explained in its most intimate form. And just when that voice gets too loud to ignore. Chapter 4. Acting in faith without full clarity. Faith doesn't wait for a perfect picture. It moves when the frame is still blurry. And most people won't tell you this, but if you wait until you're ready, you'll never move. God is preparing you by inviting you to act without guarantees. That's not recklessness, it's alignment. That's Christian faith preparation at its rawest form. David was anointed king before he ever saw a throne. Joseph received dreams long before he wore a crown. Their greatness didn't start with visibility, it started with obedience. Same goes for you. That call in your spirit, it's asking for movement. Submit that application. Make that call. Launch that blog. The clarity comes after the courage. This is where Napoleon Hill motivation meets biblical faith action rooted in belief. The kind of movement that triggers momentum. The kind of yes that heaven honors. And here's something tangible. Today, do one thing that scares you but aligns with your spirit. Let that be your offering of obedience. And when you do, something subtle begins to shift. Chapter 5. Glimpses of clarity. It's that moment when something clicks. A quote lands differently. A conversation unexpectedly gives you direction. These flashes aren't random, they're spiritual growth signs. They mean God is preparing you, not just emotionally, but intellectually and spiritually. Insight is a gift, but application is your responsibility. Start keeping a clarity log. Write down every spark of direction, no matter how small. Maybe it's the urge to take a new course. Maybe it's confirmation from a stranger's story. These aren't coincidences, they're alignments. And the more you honor them, the more you'll get. That's divine timing explained through attention. Clarity doesn't always come with fanfare. Sometimes it arrives like a whisper, "You've outgrown this." Or, "It's time to move." Christian faith preparation means acting on these whispers with reverence, not resistance. When your eyes adjust to the light, your steps will naturally find direction. And once the vision starts to sharpen. Chapter 6. Doors closing softly. Some endings don't come with a bang, they come with a whisper. A door just doesn't open anymore. That opportunity fades. That person stops calling. And if you're paying attention, you'll realize this is not rejection, it's redirection. God is preparing you by removing what can't go with you into your next chapter. Closed doors are sacred boundaries. They're heaven's way of keeping you from detours. That friend group that no longer fits? That's not drama, it's a spiritual growth sign. The loss of passion for what once thrilled you. That's your spirit evolving. Don't fight it. Observe it. Write down every area where you feel resistance. That's where clarity is trying to enter. And instead of pushing harder, ask God for peace to pivot. This is maturity. This is Christian faith preparation in motion. Letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. And as you surrender. Chapter 7. Confidence in the storm. True faith isn't proven in peaceful seasons, it's forged in chaos. When everything around you screams panic and you still have peace, that's spiritual muscle. That's evidence that God is preparing you, not just to survive, but to lead. And this is the moment where your faith becomes unshakable. Think of Paul in prison. Think of David on the run. They weren't calm because life was easy. They were calm because they were anchored. That's overcoming trials with faith, and it's available to you right now. Start by declaring over your fear, "You don't own me. God leads me." That's how peace begins to speak louder than panic. Use your mornings to ground yourself. Gratitude journaling, worship, scripture. These aren't rituals, they're reinforcements. Because when storms rise, you don't want to be looking for shelter, you want to already be planted. That's Napoleon Hill motivation mixed with kingdom resilience. And once you learn to stand in storms, feedback loop of preparation. You realize growth isn't a ladder, it's a loop. Trial leads to clarity. Clarity sparks action. Action deepens growth, and growth reveals signs. It's a cycle of becoming. God is preparing you through repetition, not randomness. And each time around, you rise a little higher. This is the rhythm of spiritual growth signs. They don't happen once. They echo. Each time you embrace a new challenge, clarity sharpens. Every time you act on that whisper, peace follows. That's divine timing explained through consistency. It's not about rushing. It's about recognizing. The more you engage this process, the more grounded you become. That's Christian faith preparation in its most powerful form. You stop fearing storms. You start welcoming the lesson. And eventually, you step back and see. It all made sense. Drop a comment and tell me, which sign was yours? Share it. Reflect on it. Let's build this space into a sanctuary of stories. And hey, don't walk away empty. Subscribe, tap the bell, and come back each week as we walk through Christian faith preparation, overcoming trials with faith and walking boldly in divine timing explained.